Hi guys, welcome back to Jurassic Collectibles. Today we're going to be continuing our look at the Schleich dinosaur toy line by looking at this guy. It's the super predator Giganotosaurus. Doesn't he look tremendous? Now the Giganotosaurus would have lived in the late Cretaceous and he had a head that measured 5 feet long. He belonged to the family Carcharodontosauridae and he would have been as big, if not bigger, than the Tyrannosaurus Rex. He wasn't as big, however, as the Spinosaurus. So let's give him a little 360 so you can see him in his entirety. I think Schleich have done a really good job on the sculpt of this one, and you'll see when we do a size comparison later on how he sizes up with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. He does have jaw articulation, so you can open and close his jaw, and we'll take a closer look in just a second. The paint job is really nice. It's got a combination of this sort of sandy grey with this maroon stripe running down the middle, then a yellow stripe like a mustard stripe, and then brown across the back. So you really get this mixture of like 3 colours running through the body. And I think this looks very, very striking and menacing. Okay, let's take a closer look at this guy. Starting off with the head sculpt, you can see we've got those 3 colours again used on the head here. Really nice. I like that sort of border of maroon going on around the nasal cavity there, and also back here behind the eye. Really like the use of this glossy black paint for those wet areas. Really makes this nostril look very wet indeed, and the eye as well looks very glassy. Love all these sculpted striations running along the lower jaw. You really get a feeling that this is like a very fleshy area. Same on the other side. Really, really nice, and a very striking skull as well, very menacing. Closer to what we see maybe on the Allosaurus than the T-Rex, and it's more of a Carcharodontosauridae skull, which is more sort of pointed and elongated. Now if we open up the jaw, you can see we've got a beautifully sculpted interior of the mouth. You can see the tongue is projected. You can see the flesh between the lower and upper jaw is really nicely sculpted and weathered. And you can see, if I get the light right, you can see they've even weathered the interior of the mouth there, and it's a really nice sculpt too. So they've done a smashing job on the interior of the mouth. The teeth are really nicely weathered, I have to say. That's really, really nice. So as we move down the neck, interesting pose on this one. You can see that the head is bent right round, and it gives you this sort of like this menacing look as you come into the room. If you were to see this, it really does look like it's seen you already and it's roaring at you. Really cool. You can see there's lots of folds here running down the neck. Lots of lovely striations and creases sculpted in there. Really nice. And then as we move down to the arm, again, lots of lovely crease lines sculpted in here. You can see the shape of the musculature in the arm. Nice creases in the elbow. And as we run down to the fingers, you can see there's individually painted finger claws there. You can see it's got 3 finger claws, not 2, because this is a Carcharodontosauridae. Very nice. And then as we move over to the chest here, you see some really nice folds of skin hanging down very loose here around the chest. Lovely. And then as we move to the limbs here, you can see really prominent musculature. You can see the faint outline of the hips coming through there. Just really, really nicely sculpted, this one. Again, you can see the tendons here, and then a very bird-like foot. And again, these have got individually painted toe claws. There's also some nice weathering here. I don't know if you can see that on the claws, but it makes these look very bird-like and weathered, almost like turkey feet. There is some nice sculpting, very subtle sculpting underneath. Maybe it could have a little bit more detail, but still very nice feet indeed. And then as we move up to the tail, you can see here at the back of the leg some nice creases where over time the leg has sort of creased this little area of skin. Lovely sculpted creases running up here. And there's this consistent scaling all over the body here. The only thing I'd say is it's a little bit uniform, and the scales are quite large, a bit like we had on the Spinosaurus. But maybe that's a look that you like. and then you can see here's a lovely curve in the tail, very elegant and flowing. On the other side we get more of the same. Get some nice tension creases here as the tail pulls away from this back of the leg. A lovely creasy knee on this side, you can see there. And really nice weathering as well. This feels very natural indeed. If I didn't know better, if I were to just look at this portion of the leg, I could say that looks like an elephant quite easily. Again, really prominent musculature on this leg, and you can see the bones coming through as well. Really, really nice. And as we come up to the rib cage, again very saggy skin around this area, and also around the arms. Very saggy indeed. You get the feeling this arm has moved around and creased this skin rather a lot. So that's really nice. And then we come back up and join up with the head. There's a little bit of a seam there, but it's barely noticeable when you see this thing as a whole. So how big is the Giganotosaurus? Let's get the tape measure. So we're looking at about 11 inches long, which is about 28 centimeters. That's pretty long for a figurine. And then we're looking at about 6 inches in terms of the height, which is about 16 centimeters. Size comparison time. Let's bring in the Schleich Tyrannosaurus Rex, and we have recently reviewed this one on the channel. This is the light green walking variant of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'll put a link to this one down below, and also the unboxing video so you can see what else is coming up on the channel. And you can see here that the Giganotosaurus actually is a bit taller than this Tyrannosaurus Rex, and they actually scale up really well next to each other. In terms of the body height, the Giganotosaurus does actually come up a little bit higher than the Tyrannosaurus Rex, so you do get the feeling that Schleich is trying to make a statement here that the Giganotosaurus could be slightly bigger than the Tyrannosaurus Rex. But having said that, in terms of the feet size, if I put them next to each other like this, you can see the Tyrannosaurus Rex has much bigger feet. And I think we noticed in this video, the review for this guy, that he has very big feet indeed, which means he wears big shoes. And here's the Giganotosaurus next to the Pentaceratops, the very colourful Pentaceratops. Again, recently reviewed on the channel, so link to that one down below if you want to go and see that review. And they scale up very nicely. I think that these two in a diorama would actually look really good, sort of facing off against each other. You've got the Pentaceratops in its very defensive, leg-raised pose, and you've got the Giganotosaurus looking very aggressive with its head cocked to one side. So there we have it, guys. That was today's look at the Schleich Giganotosaurus. What a tremendous figure for a tremendous super predator. And really does do it justice. What a fantastic sculpt. I'm really impressed with the head sculpt. I think it looks really menacing, and I love the interior of the mouth with the projected tongue. The glassy eyes really make this piece stand out. The only gripe I have is maybe that the scales are a little bit big and regular on the rest of the body, but that really is a tiny gripe. It's the only problem I have with this figure. I think this is going to look great on your shelf and displays really well with other super predators like the T-Rex. Okay guys, do you own this one already? Will you be picking him up? Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.